much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on. And, we've talked about everything from films, from, the Oscars to the whole ecosystem of making film here in Erie. And so give us an update from your perspective. What was it? Every once in a while you hear somebody was up.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to provide, help and support.
Yeah.
And even to the point of John Oliver coming in from HBO. I saw they had multiple crews.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
From New York.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Very wild. Big production.
And
Big
then
money.
NBC was here. They sent a reporter.
Yeah. It's a big deal. I mean, how many millions of people watch that show? So that was huge for Erie. That was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I still see people like celebrities on, social media and stuff wearing the hats for
Celebrities are wearing Moon Mammoths?
Yeah.
I have not seen that. That's super cool.
I think Kim Cattrall or somebody recently was wearing one on social. You'd have to check me on that, but I feel like that's right. Was wearing a Moon Mammoth hat. There you go.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I have one thanks to Shaney. And, it's kind of like a phenomenon that Erie was surrounded by it. I still think that Erie's got all the looks for a director.
Do. Yeah, we absolutely do. And actually, there's really cool stuff happening as far as the Film Society, which now, so you know, has been rebranded. We've rebranded the Film Society and the Film Office together as Film Erie now, which is much easier to say than the Film Society of Northwestern
I want to say,
Pennsylvania.
putting something in front of Erie is kind of a smart idea, like Talk Erie, right?
Yeah, Talk Erie, Film Erie.
Film
We're just
Erie.
copying you guys.
Yeah, no,
just
right,
copying
yeah.
you guys. So there's new leadership. Jessica Taylor is now the executive director of Film Erie. There's a new board. There's new energy. And they just had a really awesome industry event in November at Feed. Okay. And the film commissioner for the state of Pennsylvania actually came up and spoke, and he was really impressed with the turnout. It was a great event. It was all kinds of creatives. There were politicians there, city officials, things like that. And the energy is high. I went to probably this year alone a half a dozen film premieres from people based in Erie, which is exciting. And in the film series that we're going to talk about, I know we're going to show some of those new films from Erie creatives as well.
Who did we have? Shaney, we just had some folks on, right? That your daughter Hadley was involved with the film.
Yes.
The what was it? The 70s frat party deal.
House of Eden.
Oh, yeah, House of Eden. That was the latest premiere, from Oddity Productions.
Yes.
Yep.
And those guys
awesome.
were cool. I mean,
they're very cool.
And of course, I'm too young for the 70s, but no, not really. But no,
I was born in the 70s.
I was born in the 60s, but I wasn't in a fraternity ever.
Got it.
No, it's cool that people are able to do it, and what I love, and again, you've taught me this, is that they're using top line industry standard pieces, right?
Yeah.
For sound, for video capture, for lighting, and so on.
Yeah, the work that's coming out of this area is, it competes. It's top notch. We have really good talent here. We kind of take it for granted, and people, of course, don't think of Erie right now as a hub for film production. But everyone that comes here and everyone that's based here has a good experience. You have everything from the Erie Horror Fest that's bringing people here all the time, the productions that you're talking about, when John Oliver was here. We're slowly putting ourselves on the map, right? And the more films that are out there in the ecosystem, playing at festivals, getting distribution, it helps everyone. Right now, another Erie-based production house called Chills Productions, they just launched, to give them a plug, they're doing like a Seed and Spark for their next feature film that they want to shoot in Erie. They just launched it today, so they're fundraising for their new film. There's stuff going on constantly, which is super exciting.
Yeah. Another thing that you've taught me is the idea that in film, for the most part, everybody gets paid at least something.
Yeah.
And that's not necessary. That's not necessarily the the volunteer thing is not necessarily the typical.
Yeah, I would say that's something that the old guard, if you will, like myself and Mike Berlin and Jesse James, people that have been making films and have come back here as well. That's a standard that we're trying to set in all things, is to make sure everyone's paid, because it is really hard work. Also, in our immersive show, which I know we're going to talk about too, we set out right from the beginning that everyone that's involved will be paid. Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah, and if you have an arts equivalent, it's very much like the Philharmonic. Everybody gets paid.
Yep.
If you play the cello, you get paid. If you're a horn in the horn section or in percussion, you're getting your musician's union wage.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're a production assistant, if you're a director, you're getting paid, and everyone in between, for sure.
The as far as where this stuff goes, can you explain to the average listener the modern way of distribution? Because
Sure.
it's not what we call it, the Warner Brothers, see, and
Right.
we're gonna be at 1,000 screens, see.
Yeah, it is not easy. So there's still a very high barrier to entry, absolutely, for sure. I would say there are plenty of film festivals. That's kind of the first step for filmmakers, to make as many festivals as you can, and they're kind of the litmus test for independent films.
And there's also like niches, like the horror sector or documentaries or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's not like you can say, like you were saying, call up A24 or Neon or any of the hot distributors now, and they all started out small as well, but now they're all much bigger, and they're working in $50 million budgets and stuff like that. Wow. So film is a very expensive art form. That's why filmmakers, we need to fundraise. Like right now, we weren't even going to talk about this, but right now I am raising private investment for 2 feature films at once. Wow. And the first one that goes is the first one that we'll shoot. Both of them will be shot here in downtown Erie. But it took me so long with Unearthed to, it took me a process. I know we've talked about this. It took me 2 years to raise $300,000, and I did that like 95% locally, and that took a long time. That was like 200 no's and 30 yeses over the course of 2 years. So filmmaking is very expensive, especially if you want to pay people, if you want to work, at a certain level, hire professional actors, professional crew. So yeah, my hats off to everybody that works in film, because we're kind of crazy masochists in a way. You're up against a lot of no's, and so you'll see Kickstarters, you'll see Seed and Sparks and stuff for productions that are here in Erie, and I started out the same exact way.
But when you do that private fundraising, what's the success factor of getting, because they want their money back, right? The investors are not necessarily.
Yeah, and in my case with investors, yes, for sure. I want to get their money back, and I want to make them money, for sure.
But how long does that take? Because usually you have to get the money from Amazon. If you show up on Prime, which I think Unearthed was on Prime, right?
Yeah, we got exclusive distribution in the United States on Showtime. Showtime bought us under a 3-year contract, and then we got distribution from about a dozen different distributors overseas. So, they split up like the different territories. So there's French territories and British territories and all of that. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. So, and everybody gets their cut, right? So I have sales agents. I didn't think we'd get into all this.
No, we'll get. Yeah, we're
so
going to get to it.
I would have sales
in a second.
agents. Like I have a domestic sales agent and I have a foreign sales agent. They take their percentage, and then when they go to a distributor and they sign a deal with them, that distributor takes their percentage, and then whatever streamers that they're selling to in those countries, they take their percentage. So the waterfall goes
Right. Wow.
So it's tough. One thing that's cool about Pennsylvania is we have the film tax credit.
I wanted to ask you about that and see how generous it is.
It's very helpful. So in the case of Unearth, I told you what our budget was. We spent about 80% of our budget in the state of Pennsylvania, and you get 25% back of what you spend in state in tax credits. And so then I sold those tax credits for like 92 cents on the dollar, and that was early money that I could bring back in to my investors.
That's fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's super helpful. All filmmakers listening to this, you should apply for a Pennsylvania film tax credit.
And it is the reason why we see big Hollywood movies that are in Pennsylvania, for example, or in Pittsburgh, I should say.
Very helpful. And it's very competitive as well. You'll see places like Georgia and others that do 30% or 40%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a
Tyler
kind
Perry.
of a war that way.
Tyler Perry just planted his
that's why he built
there.
his whole, empire there.
Yeah.
So that's why you'll see, like, for a course of years, a number of films being made, like, all in the same place. That's exactly why, because they have the best tax credit at that time.
Does Canada clean our clocks on tax credits?
Yeah.
They do,
like,
huh?
Vancouver's had a good tax credit. I'm not sure who the biggest one is now. I will hopefully next year.
It's an arms race, isn't it?
It kind of is.
Wow.
But I'm always going to shoot, in the near term in Pennsylvania. I love shooting here, and I write my stories for this area. I like the kind of grit and determination that we've got going here, so it fits my stories.
No doubt. John C. Lyons is with us here. Take a quick break, and we'll be back. And we're talking about this film series that he's kicking off here just in about a week or so at 1020 Collective. Stay with us. We'll get to that in just a second. Talking to John C. Lyons, and he is working with Film Erie, which is the renaissance of the film. What was it? The Greater Erie Film Society
and the Greater Erie Film Office.
There you go. So they've got at 1020 Collective Film 1020, a weekly film series and social experience around the art of film. All right, talk about this.
Yeah, so I love showing films, talking about films, introducing people to films they haven't seen. As we've had many conversations on here, right, about the Oscar nominees and all of that. Film's my lifeblood, right? So this is a new weekly series. It's on Wednesday nights. It actually starts next Wednesday, September 3rd. And it's a collection of, so I'm the curator for it, and I'm co-hosting with Erica Berlin, who I've co-hosted many a film series in downtown Erie, so we're getting the old band back together.
Love
I'm
it.
pretty excited about that. So this program is films that are new and old, and it definitely has a story structure to it in and of itself with the programming. It's about the enduring tension between empathy and cruelty, and our unity and divisive nature here in this country. So there's
a lot of heady stuff.
There's
there.
some heavy topics
Yeah.
in this series for sure.
And you have been able to pair a short local film with these feature films.
Yeah, so a number of our screenings. So, for example, on September 3rd, we're showing a new short film called Viscous from Brad Pizzillo. He's the filmmaker in northwestern Pennsylvania that has made the most film festivals. His work, he works in animation, stop motion, all of these things. And his new short film is called Viscous, and we'll be showing that in front of The Life of Chuck, which is the feature that we're showing next week. Both of them are about, I'm starting from a message of unity at the beginning of the series, and both of those films are about our connections to each other and everything around us, and hopefully has a unifying message.
The Life of Chuck is a Stephen King story, right?
Yeah, and again, it's not a horror.
Yeah.
So this is more in the vein of, like a Shawshank Redemption kind of a story. It's about this one man, and it goes through his entire life and kind of shows, like I said, all of the connections that he's made, the people that he's touched, and kind of the broader connections with the universe and things like that. It's a movie that really got me. It really tugged at the heartstrings. And there's this great dance scene in the middle of the movie that's beautiful. It's a great, really uplifting movie. So that's a good one to start with for sure.
Talk about the vibe in going to like this film festival that you're having, the 1020, because I would imagine that you can assure us that no one's going to be on their phones, while they're viewing these movies.
No phones, but we do have that's good that you said that. It is built very much around the social atmosphere.
Okay.
So when we did a film series at the Erie Art Museum, which was called Film at the Erie Art Museum, that one as well, I was able to program whatever I wanted. We had, adult beverages there, and people would show up early and kind of hang out. And, we'd have a full discussion after each film. I'd either have a panel or I would just kind of lead the discussion with the audience. And then our Bourbon Barrel film series, which was called Film Grain, Dinner and a Movie, that's when we had like a full meal. And it was kind of a, a really chill. Yeah, it was our favorite film series to this point until this one. So Film 1020, the new one, takes place at the 1020 Collective, which is at 1020 Holland Street. And what we're going to do is open the doors at 5 o'clock. We're going to have like food trucks there, different food trucks each time, as well as desserts from Perry's Pastries. There's going to be different adult beverages there from, local breweries and wineries and distilleries. And then at 7 o'clock is when we start the feature film and a lot of the shorts. But if you look at our program and on social media, you'll see a number of the films have like an asterisk. A number of them at 5 o'clock, I'm also programming another feature film that connects with the 7 o'clock main feature. We're just calling it Secret Film.
Oh, really?
And you won't find out what that film is until the week before if you attend the previous screening. So it's actually a program of 12 weeks of feature films, but a number of them I've double programmed. So it's a lot of
double feature.
Yeah, so it's like a bonus. So it's just $10, and it's going to be like a very relaxed environment. We're going to have couches. We have all kinds of different seating there. They've got, coffee machine if you like coffee. We got popcorn. It's really just come and hang out, watch a thought-provoking film. Let's talk about it afterwards and see how it goes.
I love it. There's a film on this list, and I'm trying to find it, but they shoot horses, don't they? Right? What's it called again?
They shoot horses, don't they? So just really quick, I had to change that film to a different film, but I love They Shoot Horses, Don't They?
Okay, because I was going to say, there's an Erie connection to that movie, right?
No, but I will really quickly say that They Shoot Horses, Don't They may be one of the secret films.
Okay.
It is one of the
secret films.
But let's talk about the connection because I love this movie.
So there was a dance hall on State Street where the Hallman truck repair shop is now.
Okay.
Across the street from the main Hallman building.
Yeah.
That was called, something Gardens.
Okay.
And they used to have
these dance
competitions. And my understanding is that the writer of the book that movie's based on,
Horace Greeley or something.
It included information about Erie. Yeah, Horace Greeley was actually the New York Tribune. But anyway,
shoot.
No, but like it's crazy. They went
story.
for thousands of hours of nonstop dancing. It's insane.
So this was Depression era, and these were people that were struggling. And yes, as Joel was saying, they would have these. People would drop dead. Like they would have these dance competitions where it was the last couple standing would win money, and then you also had the wealthy people that were in the audience that if they liked you, they could sponsor you. Right, and maybe give you a jacket or something to advertise their company. It was pretty gross and pretty brutal.
What is it, Faye Dunaway?
Oh, geez. No, it is...
no, Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda's the main star.
Maybe her first role?
Wow.
I'm trying to remember.
Anyway, I remember showing up on like TCM or something like that. I'm like, this is the craziest movie.
Crazy.
Then I did my spelunking in the newspapers, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
that's awesome.
This is the same thing.
The film that we're showing in place, since I should plug this, is so November 5th, since you named that date randomly. So I have a new short film called War that's an anti-war movie that I made with Seish Dance Collective and Jesse James. It's an awesome film. We built this set that's filled with
Hold
water.
on. Explain War in a second because we have a hard break at the bottom.
Yep.
We've got John C. Lyons here. It's Talk Erie. We're talking about Film 1020 that starts this coming Wednesday, the 3rd.
Controversial.
We're talking to John C. Lyons here. He is a local filmmaker and director, and he's conducting. He's actually you have curated this Film 1020 series.
Yeah.
So these are all movies that, for one reason or another, are provoking you or driving you to show the Erie audience.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, starting on next Wednesday.
Correct.
$10 at 1020 Collective.
Correct.
I love how you price things around here, because I mean, again, if this was not even necessarily New York, if we were
New York now is like $27
to go to a
like an
film
IMAX
festival.
film.
Yeah.
Like a single.
Just a
screening.
single screening.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know how families do
Well,
it.
I think regular movie at Tinseltown is 13, right? I mean,
Yeah. The ones I go to, I think, are like $9 now.
That's what the matinee is now.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, you were
good.
talking about your movie War, which is going to be shown in the first week of November.
Yeah, so November 5th, because you were talking about They Shoot Horses, Don't They? And that was replaced by Sorcerer. But the short that's playing before Sorcerer, which we can talk about Sorcerer as well, is War, which is a film that I worked on with Sage Dance Collective. I just wanted to say, give a shout out to McCreary Roofing. They built this like 25 foot by 25 foot by 25 foot set in one of their warehouses that is filled with water. And we projected images of like Lake Erie up on the screen, and we had these dancers dancing in the water doing like fight dance scenes, choreography. I love the film. I'm very proud of it. We're starting to submit it to festivals now, but we're going to show that on November 5th before Sorcerer. Sorcerer, I don't know if you've heard of Sorcerer, but Sorcerer are these, it's connected kind of thematically to They Shoot Horses, Don't They? It's these men that are in South America. They're like down on their luck, struggling. They get offered citizenship and like $1,000 to drive nitroglycerin through the jungles of South America to this gas well site that's like blowing, shooting flames into the air to blow it up, to seal it. And they go on this crazy, dangerous journey of survival. It's about desperate people,
right?
And desperate
what they're willing to
kind of a
do.
Sorcerer was directed
I love
by,
that connection that you made there. Yeah.
by William Friedkin, who I'm sure you're familiar with. He did like The Exorcist and French Connection.
How old is this movie? 70s?
It's 77, I think. Yeah. So that's
is
just
that considered
one of the,
like the golden age?
it is,
the 70s.
And that film is so raw and gritty and dangerous. When you watch the stuff that they do in this movie, you'll be like, whoa. Like, how did
there's
someone...
no CG.
Right. They're blowing up real stuff. So it's very cool. That's just, one of the dozen films. So
but
I don't know what you want to get into.
You're kind of like focusing on new stuff. I mean, you're
New
showing
and old.
Superman from this year.
Yeah, Superman.
How'd you even get that screening?
Well, so Superman, we've built connections over the years. I've been programming now for like 15 years, which is crazy. But again, I love it. And really the first month kind of sets up everything. The first film, we talked about The Life of Chuck. That's kind of about unity and connection. The second film is Civil War, which came out last year, which imagines where our country may be going and fast forwards a little ways in the future. It's a fantastic film, also a fantastically divisive film as well. But I love it. I think the conversation's going to be great around it. Then we get into Matewan. Do you know about the Matewan massacre in West Virginia?
No, I don't. Wow.
So this is in like the 1920s, I want to say. This is in the coal mining areas, and it were, people that lived in coal mine towns that were basically owned by the company, and they were worked under really terrible conditions. And they brought in a group of like black and Italian scabs because the workers didn't want to work in those conditions, and they thought that they would all the workers would turn against each other, right? This is what the company thought, but it didn't work out that way. And they basically started forming one of the first unions. This is one of the big union stories in the country. and it turned into this giant battle in downtown Matewan, and a bunch of people died. It's a really important story.
Looks like Chris Cooper is the main character.
Chris Cooper, I think it might be his first acting.
Is that it? I was going to say he also played. Actually, he played management, but for a coal mine in October Sky. Remember that?
Oh, wow. How about that flip? Right?
The rocket ship movie.
Yeah. James Earl Jones is in it as well.
Yeah, some big stars.
Yeah, it's
Good
fantastic.
Lord.
Then we show the BB Files, which of course is about corruption, historical revisionism, and it's basically, Benjamin Netanyahu has been charged with criminal corruption charges that his trial keeps getting pushed back because of what's going on in Gaza. So these are leaked police interview video of him and his wife and all of his contacts about this corruption trial. Wow. So that's just the first month, and so that kind of sets up
not the feel-good movie of the year.
Well, again, I'm really wanting the discussion part, right? Like I really want to talk about all of these issues. Like I said, it's empathy and cruelty kind of smashing up against each other, and all of these films kind of tackle those subjects. So that's just the first month.
Yeah, I mean, you do want your audiences to be challenged to
for sure.
To maybe face some things that they would normally maybe not want to deal with.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from movies. So, I think that film is a way. You have a captive audience. You're focused on the story. You're not distracted by everything else that's going on in the world, and you have an opportunity to just let it sink in, have a discussion about what you saw, and maybe have some debate and talk out some of our issues, which I think is important. As you guys know, in the talk industry, it's very important these days.
Having a conversation.
Yeah.
Let's pivot to Tethered.
Yeah.
Because is this the second or third year?
Second year of Tethered.
Yes.
So
last year went well, didn't it?
It did go well. Yeah. So we were at PACA last year, and we tested out the whole concept. So the concept of immersive theater is that you're not a passive audience member where there's a fixed stage and you're seated and you're just kind of watching performer and audience, and you have those clear roles. Immersive theater, you go into a space, and the show is very space specific designed, and the performers are moving throughout the space, and the audience is free to move and explore throughout the space as well. So we have a cast of about 20 performers. They're a combination of actors, dancers, and hybrid. We have a full score that was created by Tony Gray, a really great bass player. He also has a bass academy, like a music school. He's doing our score again. And all of the action is guided basically by his score, because all of the performers in all the different spaces, they have to be in sync, right? Mm-hmm. So the music is played in each of the spaces, and that's how the performers know where to be and when. So as an audience member, so now we're at the Maennerchor building, which is a giant, historical building, 30-some thousand square feet. This time we have the entire building. With PACA, we had 8 or 9 spaces across the different floors. This time we have the entire building. So you'll come in as an audience member. The show starts at 6 o'clock, and it's a 1-hour show that loops 3 times back to back to back. So you don't have to show up at 6 o'clock, though I would recommend that you do. Because there's no way, even if you're in there for the full 3 hours, there's no way, it's impossible for you to see the entire show, because every actor has their own 1-hour long story. So you could follow one actor the entire loop, first loop, we call them loops, and you'd see that performer's story, but you're missing all of the
19 other people.
All of the people they didn't intersect with.
Yeah.
And you might follow them, and then they intersect with someone else, and you're like, oh, they seem interesting, and then you could follow them for a while. So as you can imagine, everyone that's in the building, they're not going to have the same experience, which is kind of the nature of immersive theater.
What is the theme of this year's Tethered?
So the theme this time is memory and consciousness. It's also a bit about connection as well. One of the central stories is, and kind of the backbone of the entire show is, there's a woman in her 60s, a former dancer who has Alzheimer's.
Wow.
And her son, who's a neurologist, has developed this technology in the near future to be able to go back into her memories, to basically share an experience with someone, to go back to this tragic event that happened in her past that forever changed her life. And the son has never met his father, and he doesn't know what happened in her life. So they go back to this club, which is the Maennerchor, where she performed in a dance group in the 90s, in the past, in the 1990s, right? So we have two timelines going at once. We have the near future and we have the 1990s, and they go back into the past, into her memories, and, go through these experiences and all these people and connections that were in her life. And he's trying to fix her issues in her brain, because he's a neurologist, and she wants to go back there to kind of relive this experience. So,
did you write this?
I wrote it with Jesse James, Melissa Troutman, Adele Crotty. We all took chunks of it. It's big. I mean, if you would look at the spreadsheet. I'm trying to figure out how, I mean, how do you do, is this very much like a feature film where you've got modules in things? It's different.
Or is it more 3D chess?
I can explain it. I can totally explain it to you. It's a spreadsheet where on the left-hand side, we have 20 characters listed. Across the top, we have the time written in 5-minute chunks. And every block, every cell is this is what that character's doing in that 5 minutes, and this is what they're doing in that 5 minutes. And we had to do that for all 20 characters. We had to write 21-hour storylines.
And you're telling them where they're going to be.
And what they're doing.
And what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, because it's space and activity.
And then you have the whole dance side where we have, choreographers, again, from Seish Dance Collective. And we also have Solveig and Mark Santillano from Somar Danceworks are also in the cast. And they, did the choreography. Seish did the choreography, and Solveig and Mark did their choreography. So you have that going on as well, because there's not, in a lot of immersive theater, and this one as well, there's not a lot of dialogue. It's mostly movement-based. So it's a lot of choreography and a lot of movement and expressing yourself and your emotions through movement instead of explaining it in exposition or something like that. It's a lot. There's opportunities for the audience to interact with the performers too. So there's some times where, for example, the mother character or the son character, they go into a private room and they will start interacting with you, and you can ask them questions. And so our performers have to be good with, being able to think on the fly.
Well, improv, right?
Improv, yeah. So it's a lot, guys. It's a lot.
I'm this is I've been doing some community theater. We performed to a crowd. I'm sure there's some in our typical theater crowds that would love this, and some would be totally overwhelmed by it,
But you do it at your own pace. That's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
So if as an audience member, you're I just need to sit down, and you could just stay in a room and let the action come to you, right?
True.
So or you can run around the place and follow a character.
That's true. If you stayed put, it's coming at you.
Yeah. We have stuff going on in every room all at once.
Everything all at what was that movie?
Everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
So that's Tethered Immersive. So
when is that, and how do you get tickets?
So that's 2 weekends. So we did one weekend for PACA last year, and the first one sold out, and we did really good the second night. So we doubled our performances this time. It's September 19th and 20th. And 26th and 27th. So it's the Friday and the last 2 weeks, Friday and Saturday. And you can find out more information at tetheredimmersive.com, and tickets for everything we've talked about today are through Erie Reader. So tickets.eriereader.com for all the Film 1020 events and for Tethered Immersive. Yeah, I mean, I hope people check these out.
What occurs to me about what you're doing here, John, and really where the arts are going. And I think there's room for everything. But what this is doing is kind of pushing the envelope of saying, hey, I know we're in little old Erie, Pennsylvania, but we can have significant experiences, whether it's live experience like Tethered or a challenged conversation over film, like in the Film 1020 series. You're really trying to elevate conversations.
We sure are, definitely. I can tell you, like, over the last week, which is kind of crazy, the majority of our sales for Tethered have been from Pittsburgh, which is pretty cool. Like, the word is out there. That is
kind of indicating something to me, though.
Yeah, people for the last show came down from Buffalo. Like, people are coming to Erie for this show because there's not a lot of immersive, I can tell you, because you know, we're plugged into that world now. There's not a lot of immersive theater going on in the tri-state area, like in this region of the world. There's a lot in New York. There's a lot in LA. There's a lot like in London, and Korea and Japan and stuff. But here in Erie, we're doing some cool, ambitious stuff. Like, the crew is just as big as the cast. And the crew's been meeting on this story for over a year. Like, basically, as soon as the last one ended in February, we started meeting in March to design this show. So it's a lot. And, you know, I have to give a shout out to everybody that's involved because, like you said, it's new. So it's, you know, it's difficult to explain the concept to people. And then when people are like, oh, I have to perform for 3 hours straight each night. Wow. It's a different thing. Yeah. It's a different beast. Plus we didn't talk about it, but there's film elements involved as well. We're doing like projection, as well, like projection mapping on different surfaces. So it's got a technology element to it as well. It's pretty much it's a kitchen sink kind of a art experience. You'll never see anything like it in Erie, and again, it's only 4 nights, and then you'll never see it again.
You're not gonna see, I mean, this performance, it's like a snowflake. It comes and it melts. Let's go over all the details again for the film series, Film 1020.
Yes,
starting next Wednesday night.
Wednesday nights, the doors open at 5. The main feature starts at 7. I would say, come hungry. Come and have a beverage, have some food before the film starts. Check the listing for each film, and if you see that there's a secret film being shown at 5 o'clock, then arrive at 5 o'clock if you want to check out a 2-for-1 situation.
You're playing the secret film early. That's what I was missing there. Yeah.
So the secret films, which aren't every week, start at 5 o'clock. And then again, the main feature at 7. Those are just $10. That's tickets.eriereader.com. And then Tethered Immersive is 4 nights, September 19th, 20th, 26th, and 27th at the Erie Maennerchor Club. And you can get those tickets as well at tickets.eriereader.com.
And there's limited seating for both of these events. So like you said, you had sellouts last year.
Yeah, we will cap it at 200 people each night for Tethered. Where we had 350 people come to our 2 events last year.
Nice.
So those tickets run anywhere from $35 to. So we have a couple options there as well. You can get a VIP ticket where you arrive an hour before the show starts. We'll give you a beverage, and you can have some cheese and crackers with members of the cast and crew and hang out for a bit. And then again, the show starts at 6, goes through 9. And then at 9 o'clock, we're going to have like an after party talk back after each show where you can do a Q&A with the cast and crew. And we're also partnering with the Alzheimer's Association Greater Pennsylvania chapter. And they will be there as well for people to talk to, if you have questions about their services and Alzheimer's. So anyways, the tickets range from $35 up to $125. Okay. If you do the VIP and the after thing, it's $125. If you stay for just the Q&A, I think it's like $75.
Okay. And give a plug to your presenting sponsor.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So VNet, I want to give a big shout out to. They're our presenting sponsors for Tethered Immersive. And right now for Film 1020, shout out to Erie Reader. We are looking for sponsors still for both of these. I would say find us on social media if you're interested in sponsoring either like a night of film or the Tethered show. Reach out to us at Film Erie or Tethered Immersive on socials. We would love your help because these things aren't free.
No,
So,
John C. Lyons, always tremendous to talk, and congratulations on, again, pushing the envelope for Erie in these spaces. I appreciate it very much.
thank you.
You got it. It is 5 in front of 5.